Are we live? It says live right now up at the top. However, there's the other information I need to see to know that we're actually live. What's going on, dudes? We're going 2 days in a row because yesterday got cut unfortunately short because the audio just died on us. I've got a little receiver that you can't see plugged into the phone, and this guy's here, and all my lights tell me that it's working, but it wasn't yesterday. And I don't know if that was a YouTube app thing or if it was, who knows what it was. It was a real bummer too because I was in the middle of telling a riveting story that you might have wanted to hear. Let me do one thing real fast and I'll be right back. 30 seconds tops. Hold on just a moment. Okay. Are we back? All right, we lost our one person that we had in the live because I had to leave for a moment. That's okay. Yeah, so we'll wait for a moment for people to start getting in here. The main goal of today is to put a finish on some of or a lot of these panels right here. This is probably the most amount of surface area. We'll just show them. This is probably the most amount of surface area I have ever finished before with wood surfaces, and I am using our tried and true Rubio monocoat to do so. And if you've ever used it, you know that compared to other finishes like polyurethane or spar urethane or I don't know, mineral oil or something like that, it's extremely simple to apply and you only have to do one layer. However, no matter how simple things are to apply, if you do it over, it's actually going to be 30 panels of wood. If you do that over that much surface area, it is just going to take a long time to do. And so I really don't know how much time it's going to take to do this. I obviously have estimated the project for the client and I gave it my best shot, but I don't know if it translates the way that I typically finish things. Like if I'm finishing a, let's say 4x8 conference table or something like that. I don't know if it's like, all right, that took 2 hours to finish the conference table, and this is going to take 2 times 30 hours. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think that we can get in a groove here, but the first thing that we actually have to do to make that happen is we have to basically figure out the logistics and the operational side of how do you finish that many panels and where do you put them? Because no matter how good Rubio monocoat is and how dry it feels once you put it on, like 5 minutes after you put it on, you still don't want things touching the surface until it's at least cured overnight. You kind of want it to be even longer than that, but overnight's going to be plenty good for this purpose. So what we have to do first before we actually finish these is we have to, I'll turn you over here, we just have people coming in and out. We have this thing right there, which was for a different project, but I'm actually thinking that we could utilize this to make like a drying rack for all of the 30 panels that we have to finish. So I don't know if you remember like in grade school when you and your class were in art class and you'd be doing like murals or paintings or whatever it might have been. And then after you're done, now the teacher, the art teacher's got 30 paintings that he or she has to figure out how to store so they don't get on each other and they can dry, and they have those like little kind of folding racks that you can put everything in there. We're gonna try to do that, but instead of like pieces of paper that are, 8 inches by 8 inches, we have 30 massive pieces of plywood that are pretty important. So what I'm gonna do first, while people are just coming in, is I'm just gonna start making this. Again, this was for a different project. We had to make like a scaffolding for some shelves. I'm just gonna make this into a panel drying rack. The way that I'm thinking of doing it we're gonna keep the main structure of it, which is gonna be actually really helpful. I just decided that like 20 minutes ago that I didn't have to rebuild everything, but I'm gonna put a crossbar up about right here, bang. I'm gonna probably take away all of these front panels. I'll probably keep these guys right there. Take away this front panel, take away this front panel, and all these crossbars right here, we're going to remove those, and on the crossbar back here, we're gonna just kind of put them out like, I don't know, tongs or spokes or something like that. And in doing so, it might, I hope it'll be strong enough to support 30 panels of plywood. So I'm gonna start just kind of doing that while people are filing in. I already did a little bit of a test. Oh geez. The driver bit that I'm using right now seems like it's a little bit stripped. So that's not fantastic, but we're gonna make do with it. Goodness gracious. It's almost like the screws, yeah, that was to be expected. All right, first thing we need to do probably is get out all of these cross braces. What I'm a little worried about is once I start taking out all of the cross braces, I don't know, oh yeah, I don't know which of them are really helping support this thing. And so we might start having some shit fall down, but that's all right. And if you're just coming in, welcome. I'll check the chat in just a second. Oh, sure. But right now, if you're just coming in, yes, I'm gonna tie up the hair. It's great and flowing and that's all cool, but we're in work mode now, not hanging out mode. So we gotta get it going. Yeah, so gang, we are going to be finishing a whole lot of panels today, but if you finish a whole lot of panels, you have to have a place to put all of the panels so that the finish doesn't get screwed up. Oh yeah, while you're doing that. So I first need to just kind of rip through making a drying rack, and I'm using the scaffolding from a project that I finished up last week that was a bookshelf, and I needed some scaffolding. So yeah, if you I don't know, start throwing things up in the chat, I'll respond to them. Otherwise, I'm just gonna talk about whatever I want to talk about. Here's where I'll start. Yesterday, we were doing a live video and the audio cut out right as I was telling you guys about the fact that right behind my shop outside, it's been smelling a lot like bat guano. That's where we're gonna start today as I'm disassembling this here rack. So if you are, oh sure, oh no. Okay, that doesn't look good. What the hell? Okay. Oh my gosh. That screw just broke off. All right, here's a learning point, gang. This is a great thing we can look at really quick. So check this out. I just had a screw break off into a piece of wood. This is not a vital piece of wood, so it's not a huge deal or anything, but it's a great teaching point. So check it out. I might have to bring you down. No, it's fine. You can see it, right? You can see it. All right. So I've just broken off this screw right here into the wood. Again, not vital that we save the wood or the screw, but it's annoying to have to deal with this guy. So I have taken the driver bit out of the drill, and what I'm gonna do, I don't know if this will work first time, I'm gonna use the little drill chuck here, and I'm going to grab onto what's left. And you kinda gotta get it pretty tight, and you gotta make sure you're set to wumbo, or reverse as they call it. Oh my gosh. It's like I'm a professional, gang. Holy moly. Too easy. All right, great. We all learned something today, and it's only been like 3 minutes into the chat. It's live. How exciting is that? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Did I turn on the chat function? I'm not seeing any chats. Typically, people are all too quick to start making fun of me or telling me I'm doing something wrong. Maybe you guys are just here to learn. That's what I'm talking about. Joe Mama. He's always there laying it down. Where the hell did I put my driver? Here we go. Guys, that was a phenomenal lesson for you. Real quick, right out of the gates. Let's roll. So I imagine at this point, the vast majority of people that are coming in have no idea what's going on with this build. What I'm doing is I'm partially disassembling a structure that I made for a piece I was building last week. This was a bookshelf that had to kind of be a mobile, or at least like a temporary bookshelf that could be disassembled and reassembled, etc. And to do that bookshelf, I put it, all the shelves, slipped them over some pillars that were in the corners. That's how all the shelves stayed up. But to make all the shelves at the right height and the right design and geometry, I had to make this thing to sort it out. What I'm doing today is I am finishing a giant stack of wood right there. But if you're finishing a whole lot of panels, which we will be doing, you have to have a place to dry them. So I'm repurposing this structure to be a drying rack, like when you were in grade school and you went to art class and you all painted stuff. The art teacher had a drying rack so that all 30 of your little paintings didn't get on each other. That's what we're doing right now. We're making a drying rack out of a bookshelf scaffolding. Hopefully that was a succinct way to describe all of that. And hopefully we are now all caught up. I will be using all these little guys right here. Those are going to be super helpful. I think the way we're actually going to do this is I want to get the foundation for the drying rack set up, but I have to make 30 little prongs or little rack dividers. And I don't think I want to do that all at once. I think what I want to do is make the first one, finish the first panel, then put the second one up, finish the second panel, because I don't know how far apart they need to be spread. That's my thought process here. What was I talking about before the screw incident? Oh yes, the bat guano. So my shop, where the hell did that just go? My shop is out in the Texas Hill Country. And that needs to come down from this side. It's in the Texas Hill Country, right? And the last few days when I've been walking outside in the shop, out of the shop, I've been smelling bat guano. And if you are familiar with bat guano, it's got a very distinctive smell. And I'm pretty sure it's bat guano. I'm like 82% sure it's bat guano. If also you're anywhere around the central Texas area, you know that there's a very large population of Mexican free-tailed bats that live under choice bridges. And so that's why I know what it smells like. And I'm smelling it, and I'm wondering if we got a bat colony that's moved in outside. Just chew on that. I don't know if there are any bat people in the chat that could weigh in. It could also be like, no, it's not bat guano, Tanner, it's armadillo shit or something. That is a possibility as well. I don't know that I could tell you exactly what armadillo shit smells like. We're not gonna cut these. I don't think we need to make it any smaller. We'll definitely, we'll definitely just leave it as tall as it is. This is just gonna be a very quick, dirty job here. This whole thing can come out, can't it? Again, I don't know what beams or braces are vital for this thing to stand up right now as it is. So there could be something that we, undo, and then all of a sudden the whole thing just topples down. I don't know. I don't know if we want to keep a couple of those. We're going to take it out. We're going to take it out. I'm going to take it out. Yeah, that's good. Another elephant in the room that I do have to address is the classic woodworking attire that you see me wearing right now. Everyone knows that the best of the best woodworkers are going to be rocking crop tops, sleeveless crop tops, and short shorts. It's a miracle, actually, that I'm wearing shoes today and not sandals, because I do oftentimes wear sandals in the shop. You might ask where this crop top came from. And I don't know, I guess proudly, but maybe not proudly, can admit that your boy was not the one who cropped this thing. But instead, my dad, when he got to be about, 70 years old or so, he got into that phase of life that all 70-year-old men get into, where you just start making crop tops out of all your shirts. It just happens. Happens quickly. You never know, when the day is going to be, but then they all just say, today's the day I'm cropping my shirts. So he probably made 8 to 10 crop tops out of perfectly good shirts in his closet. Yeah, it's getting hot out. It is getting hot out. It's 80 degrees in February in Texas right now. But anyway, so my dad started cropping all these shirts, and at first I was kind of like, is this old man cargo shorts sort of vibes and aesthetics, and man, you're really not with the times and the style. But then, what are those shoes? They're like the objectively horrific looking, bulky skater dad shoes where they're kind of white, kind of black, but red. You know what I'm talking about? And they were really ugly, but then people started wearing them almost ironically, and then they became cool. That's the kind of vibe I was getting from the crop tops he was making, because he was cropping he cropped. I went to UT, so hook 'em. Hopefully that doesn't start any fights today. But so anyway, I was like, wait, that's kind of badass. He made a crop top out of my school shirt. So I took it from him. And now, yeah, we're going with it today, because as Joe Mama said, it is kind of hot. The funny thing about it, ow. I suppose I was going to say that when I'm in the privacy of my own shop, it doesn't matter what I look like, but I'm realizing that that's just absolutely wrong, because I've got 200 of you guys out there looking at me in the privacy of my own shop. But the funny thing is when I go wear something like this and I'm picking up lumber or something from a very real lumber yard, and everyone else there looks like these stereotypical 45-year-old woodworker, you know what I mean? And then there's me rocking a crop top sleeveless shirt, hair looking like this. It's a vibe. Finette, what's going on? Great to see you. I'm doing very well. You're totally cool for not getting to the beginning. We're kind of just starting right now, honestly. So great to have you here. Finette, everybody, is our friend over across the pond in France. She is always very lively in the chat, so we appreciate her for doing that. And she asked what we're doing, and I imagine there's quite a few people wondering what the hell we're doing right now. So I'm gonna just say it one more time. I apologize to those who already know and just want me to keep getting on with it. As the thumbnail and the title and the description for this live indicates, we are trying to put a really interesting color of finish on a bunch of panels of wood. Right here, all these guys. If you were here yesterday in the chat, in the live, you saw me cutting these to very specific shapes and sizes. So we have to put a finish on all of these. And the noise I was making is that amount of surface area is like the most amount of surface area I think I've ever had to finish in my 5-year woodworking career. So it's there's some logistical challenges that you have to do when you want to put a finish on all those things, because my shop is not set up to be a plywood large surface area panel sort of shop. I usually make like one piece at a time. I finish that piece, it leaves, the next piece starts, etc. But if I want to finish 30 panels of wood, each of which are like, 4 feet by 6 feet or whatever, you got to have a system for where to put them so that when you do put a finish on them, they can dry safely without the finish getting, screwed up. So if you remember back to elementary school, when you were in art class and you made your drawings, then the art teacher had those cool drying racks where you put them on there and you could fit 30 or 60 or however many little drawings so they'd all dry and not get on each other. That's what we're making. This was a shelf that I made for a project I did last week. You'll see it all over YouTube and Instagram in the coming week or two. I'm repurposing it to be our drying rack. So right now I'm taking apart what I don't need, and then I'm gonna put back together what I do need. And that's what we're doing. So this will be, pretty quick. Pretty quick. I'm thinking like the next, 10, 20 minutes we can have this going. Probably 10 minutes, because I'm not gonna put all the racks in. I'm just gonna put one, finish one, put the next rack in, and we're gonna do that. That's what we're doing right now. Dana, what's going on? Breaking the stereotypes, one crop top at a time. You freaking bet. Crop tops are the new overalls in woodworking, is gonna be the slogan that my presidential campaign runs on. Now, you know what? I do like overalls too. Maybe the move is crop top on top, overalls on bottom, chacos on the feet. So, wasn't Jesus a carpenter? Pretty sure he was, right? Isn't that what they say? You gotta imagine he probably wasn't wearing safety goggles. I'm thinking a long flowing robe and sandals is what he was making conference tables out of, right? And I'm freeing up so many screws right now, which is great because I was running very low on them. The other thing we were discussing earlier, and hopefully we have a new group of people coming in who might have more information on this. We're talking about bat guano, because I smell a lot of bat guano outside my shop, and I think it would be an honor to host a bat colony somewhere nearby, but I don't know where they'd be living. There are no like big rocks or caves, right? And it's like right here that I smell all the bat guano. So I don't know, maybe I don't know. Anyway, do other things smell like bat guano that's not bat guano? That's the question, chat. That's what we're trying to figure out. Shoot. The other thing is today, well, yesterday when I was cutting up the plywood, I was like, I felt like I had some time for the first time in a long time. And so I wasn't too worried about efficiency in the live video. But then today, I was like, I have to have a significant amount of these panels with a finish on them today. Based on when this is due and how long it takes panels to dry. So, this one needs to come out. We're gonna see if we can actually get some things done today. Because we got things done yesterday, but arguably not as much as as much as we should have. So today, we're trying to go. All right, we're doing pretty well. The next thing we have to do is, I need to put up one of these in the back. This is where, you can't see it. I'm gonna finish the boards right here, and then I think we're just gonna slide them in right there. But to do that, we need to put up a little crossbar in the back. It's not too tall. Am I still on the, I think so. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is the middle. I don't think anything's shorter than like that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hold on. We're leaning. Shoot. What do we need to do to not be leaning? We need to put some more screws up there, don't we? Do I have a stool in here? This'll work. So that's one thing. Teaching point number 2 for the day. If you only have one screw at all these points right there, geez, it's always really hard to be a weatherman. Right there, and right there, you see. If you only have one screw there, the whole thing, these beams will stay parallel, but they can get at angles. And we definitely need it to not be doing that. So I'm gonna put a couple screws up here on this rickety thing to try to keep the whole piece from tilting. There we go. And then for good measure, there we are. Get the hell out of there. So now, see what I'm saying? It's a little better. I feel it over here. We're trued up. Over there, it feels like we could probably use a couple screws. So we'll go do that. I also have to make sure that before I actually start putting my plywood in here, that this is in a good spot. Because once the plywood's in there, this whole thing's not moving. When I made my piece last week, this bookshelf, right? I just kind of arbitrarily put this whole thing right here. And like halfway into it, I was like, I really wish this entire thing was moved over 4 feet to the right. But that was, at that point, not gonna happen. All right, we're getting a little bit more trued up. One thing that's really fun as someone who does woodworking as my full-time professional career, and as someone who has built a business around being kind of like as high-end as I can be with furniture and art, where every single tiny move matters and like you gotta be super precise. It's always really fun to just hack around with some 2x4s and just screw things in and not worry about how straight it is. It's the little things, guys. It's a joy to just be able to do that. I'm gonna put another guy down here, and then we're pretty close now to start. I've got so many things on the floor. Look at all this. Look at all this junk. We're gonna use all those, don't worry. You know what I haven't done? Measured that? That's okay, it doesn't need to be measured. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? All right, come on. Yep. We're gonna put 2 down here. Yep. We need 2 more. Yep. Okay. Is my drill running out of batteries? All right. This thing is now much sturdier than it was. I know that little shake right there did not instill a lot of confidence, but it is much sturdier than it was. Now, the thing that I was going to do is we need to put up a crossbar, which all of the dividers are going to come from. I think we'll be able to get rid of these guys. Man, what was I doing on this last project? That's kind of crazy. Will that stretch? What the hell? Oh, bummer. I've made that short, haven't I? I'm over on that side. I had to cut this thing just barely short because it was hitting the roof. Because these studs are exactly 8 feet long and the roof is exactly 8 feet tall. But when I say exactly on the roof, there are some points where it comes down a little lower, and there's also tubing for lights and the garage track and things like that. So I had to do something that's kind of sacrilegious, which is cutting an 8-foot 2x4 to, like, instead of 96 inches, like 93.5 inches. And yeah, I think that's probably, I don't think anything shorter than that. Cool. Now we just need a few. Well, I thought I hit it over here. I did not. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go at an angle with this screw. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but this 2x4 that I'm working on and trying to make a crossbar out of, it does not hit this upright. That's okay, I'm way over it over here, so all good. I have no idea if this was straight either. Awesome. Okay. So I have 30 panels, right? What do we got here? Finette, yes. No, I am using Rubio Monocoat for this. That's the kicker, is that Rubio Monocoat is really nice because it dries extraordinarily quickly, at least to the touch. It takes obviously overnight and probably over a couple nights to cure 100%. But when you apply Rubio Monocoat and you dry it off and like buff out all the wet spots, it is dry to the touch within like 5 minutes. The kicker is though that even if I have it dry to the touch within 5 minutes, I still have 30 panels right here, all of these guys that need to be really well finished, right? And I can't stack them on one another, because if I stack them on one another, then I could see them kind of curing to the bottom, and I don't know. So we are using Rubio Monocoat. It should be probably about the easiest finish to apply to this many things, other than maybe spraying something, but that's other challenges that we won't have to deal with. But yeah, I haven't ever finished that much surface area with Rubio Monocoat. And I'm just worried about efficiency and like how to optimize the process. We're gonna get there when we get there. You know what I'm also realizing here? Dang, we have one more challenge to deal with. Here's the challenge. The panels, these guys, that I am going to be working with, I think the widest that they will be is 45 inches. And right now, whoa, my tripod's a little weird. Right now, this base right here is only about, I don't know, 24 inches deep. So I do not know if, as it stands, if I put a panel in that, it would, if it would stand up or like kind of tip over, you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like if we put a panel right here, Would it actually lean back in there, or would it fall over this way? Yep. All right, so I need this guy. We need him like right there. Yeah, that'll be probably good enough. The key is how do we... All right, we need some short 2x4s that are roughly the same size. That's what I'm freaking talking about right there. That's why you always keep the short 2x4s that are roughly the same size. You always got to keep that thing on you. Here's what we're going to do for these. I've made this last one so it's not actually on the ground. Can I take it off, or have I shot myself in the foot? I've shot myself in the foot. I can't take these 2x4s on the ground off. That's a bummer. Oh well. We will persevere through that, I promise. So, we need to put this guy on some 2x4s to match the height of everything else. And he's on a 2x4, kind of. It's on some other shit too. All right, we're gonna get this. Yeah, there we are. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? You can like hardly see it. Think I need to measure something. Yeah, I might. Yeah, there's the chance that I should be measuring something. I'm not going to, but Finette, you are probably correct that I should. Grabbing a couple screws. This is just a... Oh. The other thing that's really awful about all these 2x4s that I'm using is they all have, or not all of them, but a lot of them have this black cloth. I don't know if you can see that. I, once a year, attend this holiday market where I try to make pieces for it and sell my pieces for it. I won't be doing it in November, which is when it typically is. But so anyway, I had this huge booth, this huge setup that I used for the last few years. And it was like these giant black walls that were 2x4 studs with black bed sheets covering them. And then I dissected, is that the word? Disassembled? Whatever. Yeah, like a frog dissection. I took them all apart so that I could have these 2x4s, but it was really a pain to get all of the black cloth off. So sometimes when I'm screwing things in, the black cloth like wraps around the screw. It just makes everything a pain. Okay. We gotta go, dudes. We gotta go. I have a lot of work to do today. I'm yapping a lot. Expect anything different. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, it worked. Go. You need to go in there, little buddy. Beautiful. Okay. And one more screw right here. Cool. Now, see what I did? Does that make sense, what I've done? That's pretty good. I'll put this little thing over here because this will get relatively heavy out there. Okay, does everyone see what I've done there? Does everyone know why I've done that? Does that make a little bit of sense? Probably. Because when we're sliding things in, yeah. I just kind of want to do the first one to see if this whole process is going to work like I think it should and needs to. I want to move the whole thing back just a little, which is going to be a nightmare. We'll try it. I'll put you in a good spot so you can see it. I don't know how heavy this thing's going to be. Makes sense. No, sir. Joe Mama says no, sir. Finette says yes. I'm just trying to make it to where there's a bigger base, so when I put the panels in there, they don't tip off onto the concrete. Like they're all on the 2x4 bottom. It wasn't deep enough. Where the hell am I? It wasn't deep enough. Okay, let me move this thing. This is gonna be the, you can't see that. This table, right here, that's where I'm gonna finish everything. Bang, right here. After I finish everything, then I'm gonna just slide it into the rack. But I need to move the rack to optimize space. But the rack is on 2x4s. Oh, I'm such an idiot. That's not moving anywhere because of that thing on top. We got this bar up here that is hitting shit. That might be where it's gonna be. Oh, man. How did, dang it. Okay, hold on. I wonder if we can tip it back and kind of go up and under. Know what I mean? Oh, man. I'm also trying to think about the fact that the sun comes in this way, and where I'm finishing right there is gonna get blasted by sun in just a few hours. So I'd rather not be blasted by the sun, both for heat purposes, the sun hitting the wood and the Rubio monocoat purposes, but also for filming purposes. You gotta think about a lot of things here. So, all right, gang, let's make sure you can see it, because we're gonna go for it. So we gotta scoot it this way. Oh, we don't have much room because the freaking garage track. All right. I don't know if anyone's doing the Pythagorean theorem right now to calculate if I'm gonna make it. My bet is no, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, shoot. What are we hitting on? Shoot. Okay, let's take off the cross brace. God. Damn. All right. Taking off the cross brace. Don't fall. Isn't there a children's book about not standing on rolling chairs? Is that the one with like the police officer and his dog? And they're like at a school on the stage? I might be way, way, way off there. Why do I have so many screws in this thing? Whoa, yeah, we're going. I don't need this. We're taking these off. Ah. Jeez, look out. I don't need those. Stick to your guns, I don't need them. All right. I don't need them. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. Oh, this one's gonna topple down. Come on. Yep. Yep. All right. This thing has probably gotten, that's not too much more wobbly. All right. All right, can I Pythagorean theorem you now? Because I don't have, oh. What is happening? Oh, I see. We're only supported on one side on the ground right now. That's okay. Woo. Stall? we cleared it. It's this tube right here. Come on. Okay. We're clear. We're not clear. Shoot. What the hell? Oh, we're really stuck now. We're clear. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. All right, now those guys have to find a hole. Okay, if we go just a little more this way. No. It's like, oh my gosh, dude. Please. Shoot. All right, let me get the camera angle better. I kind of feel like Les Stroud. You know what I mean? Survivor man who always has to like, just checking the chat. What am I gonna use to separate each panel? Great question. Just 2x4s, just kind of sticking out. Yeah, that's my plan. I think it'll work. But right now we're tilted. We're tilted. Shoot, that's there. What are we stuck on? Dude, this is terrible. Oh my gosh. Huh. Are we good? Oh. I don't know if you can see the lights. I am doing something to the lights. Hold on, now we're like on things. Okay. That's all fine and dandy. I don't need any of those panels, I don't think. Do I have more room here to do? I need to get behind this, but now that we're straight up and down, I can just kind of move it. Okay. Let's get some of these guys. Ah! All right. Need some more 2x4s. Here's some little nubs. The correct terminology for these is indeed little nubs. I promise we are very close to beginning to finish some pieces of wood. What do we think, chat? What do we think, chat? Let's just get one good one. Oh my, that's so loose. That's fine. Good enough. We just slide them in. We just slide them in. We just slide them in. I hope this works. I really do hope this works. Okay. Little nubs, you got it. What's going on, Hannah? Great to have you in the chat. Let's see. Can we see things here? Or do I want to... What if we did this? What if we did this? We're going to move this table back. Ah! Oh, don't fall, drill. Perfect. Great. We're going to finish things on this table, and then we're just going to slide them on back into the art rack. These on the floor are going to be all the partitions, the dividers. These are all the screws for the partitions / dividers. And then in a second, I will show you the actual art. I want to put this stuff back here. It's good that I can crawl through right there as of now. I'm sure that will change as I start loading that up with art / panels. They're really just panels, but I'm just calling them art. Okay. Shameless plug. The merch store is live, gang. That's it. That's the guy right there. Cool hats. I've been wearing the sweater religiously. This one's dirty as hell right now, and I also got this going on. I've been wearing the sweater religiously, and I really like it. In cold weather. In Texas right now, it's 86 degrees, so it's not sweater time. The panels won't put weight on the sides, right? They will, Finette. They definitely are going to. We're going to see if they're strong enough. Yeah, some triangles could be good. I did one very, very superficial test where I got a divider and screwed it in, and then I leaned up a panel onto it, and it seemed okay. So I hope it's like if one's good, 30 will be good, rather than it's 30 times the, force. I don't think it is. What's going on? Sabka? Am I saying that correctly? I apologize if the pronunciation is wrong. Sab? Cobb? Bandu? What's going on? Welcome to the chat. Okay. I can't delay anymore. We got to actually put a finish on these things. As I was talking about, where is the leaf blower? I don't know. We're just going to dust it off with my hands, because we'll put this thing on it anyway. Yes, so we're doing Rubio monocoat, which if you know anything about Outer Woods, that's the finish we go with every single time. It's been very, very reliable the entire time. We love it. Easy to apply, comes out really pretty, honors the wood, but then also has a beautifully smooth finish to it. I'm looking for a chisel to open this box. Here's one. The other thing about it is it's very durable, which is fantastic. So everything's really cool about it. I love it. It's great. We are going to be using a color for this build, all these panels, that I have never used before. The cool thing about Rubio monocoat is that, bang, we got a sticker. The cool thing about Rubio monocoat is that, as the name would imply, it is just one finish, one coat, the monocoat. And you can finish it clear. And when I say finish, I just mean putting something on it that protects it, seals it. That's what a finish is. It's just purely durability, and it's clear. If you want to stain something, that is actively changing the color of that thing. And normally, staining does not mean you have finished it. For staining, you're just adding color. And for finishing, you're just adding durability. And yeah, sealing. However, for Rubio monocoat, bang, right there, they do both in one. So when you go to their website, and you can, in the description, there's a link that'll send you to the website, and you can know exactly what I get. It's called Oil Plus 2C. But they do something where, perfect, it's the correct color, they have a bunch of different colors of their finish. So when I'm doing this, I am both going to be coloring it blue, and I'm going to be adding the protective layer all in one, which is generally really, really nice to just be able to do that. But especially for a project like this, when efficiency is like the name of the game. I have 30 panels to finish, and if I was having to do multiple layers, if I was having to put a stain on and then come back later and do the finish, it would just make this project exponentially longer. So the Rubio Monocoat is fantastic for this one because just one finish, I scrape it around, I buff it off, it's done, it's going in the art rack. Yeah, that's it. The question that I have right here is, you have to mix it up. It's a two-part mixture. How are we doing? Is anyone in here that's Lamau? I don't know why. What's funny, but yeah, dude. Cool. It's a two-part mixture. Part A, part B, party. Anyway, I'd love to just mix all of this with all of this because that would be the correct ratio. It's 3 of these to 1 of these, and that's, or 3 volume to 1 volume, and that's what they give you with this. So I'd love to just dump one in there, dump the other. Is that the leaf blower in the shot? Maybe. That's it. That's our guy right there. I couldn't see it because I was standing right here and the table was blocking it. Thank you, chat. The problem is if I mix all of this, I do not know if I will be using all of this today. And this can, all of this, was $175. It's gonna go a long way, but I don't want to accidentally mix it all up and then not use it and then be kind of up a creek sort of thing. So unfortunately, I'll be measuring with spoons. Which, you know what, I do have measuring cups for this large of a, I'm gonna use measuring cups probably. Okay, these are for buffing, but I have an idea for buffing that could be very helpful, I don't know. We have the spreader, and here's what we're gonna do. Let's get everything off the table except the table, which isn't actually on the table, if you think about it. And I'm thinking about it. I would get the camera, but wherever I put the camera, it won't get all of this, so I'm just gonna grab it and come on over. I'm grabbing a piece of plywood right now. Ah. Awesome. Okay. Great. This should be, I'm trying to remember my diagram of all of these panels. This isn't the total panel. This is 1/6 of one of the panels. Should be 45.5 inches tall. It is, and it should be 54 and something. It's 42 and a little bit. What the hell am I doing? Which panel is this? That seems smaller than I want it to be. 56. Have I put the wrong panels up here? Hold on. Hold on, gang. Oh no. Oh no, they're back there. Here's the issue. I think what I'm looking at, metric spoons, yeah. Yeah, they are metric spoons. I do customary for everything else, but then I do metric for my spoons. Great question. So I think that this, what I'm seeing here, I'm pretty sure that's the offcut of a piece of plywood that I need, because that is 48.5 and 42 and a little bit. Is this 50 something and a little bit? What are you? What are you? It's even less. What are you? Oh, I know what you are. I know what you are. Are there 6 of you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going crazy. Chat, can somebody do the math for me? What is... No, I don't even need you to do the math. It's right here. 42 and an eighth is what I need. That's 48 and a half. There is 42 and an eighth. These are the panels. Don't you worry. I wasn't worried. Okay, we're cool. So these, I only need to finish one of the sides of these. I'm gonna do the quickest sanding, I think, for all of these panels, because as I've been moving them around, I have seen some blemishes and, oh boy, and some artifacts. This is definitely the side that we want to do. This guy. Right. But I don't know how long the sanding is going to take. And again, if I was just sanding one of these, really not that big of a deal. It might take me 2 minutes, it might take me 5 minutes. I really don't know. The challenge is, whatever it takes on this one, it will take on all of them. And so if I decide that I want to sand this, and let's say it takes 3 minutes. Let's say it takes 10 minutes. That's probably more reasonable. Say it takes 10 minutes to sand one of these. 10 minutes is not that big of a deal. But 10 times 30 is 300 minutes, and that's a bigger deal. What is that, 5 hours? That's 5 hours of work. So I'm just going to see how long it takes me to sand one of these, and then make a decision to see how worth it that is. What you're also probably noticing is this guy about to dual wield sanders? The answer is yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because if it takes 10 minutes with one sander, it takes 5 minutes with two. That's what my grandpappy always used to tell me. Using DeWalt sanders, Stephen DeWalt, heir of the DeWalt fortune. If you're in the chat, we'd love a sponsorship. Or if Mark Festool, the competitor to DeWalt, is out in the chat, I'd gladly abandon my DeWalt sanders for a Festool partnership. Anyway, someone get this on the clock. Let's see how long it is. Let's get the settings dialed up correct. We're going full blast, full sixes on the sanders. I think the move is just going to be to sand any blemishes that I see, but other than that, maybe not. And Grandpappy, yeah. Solid math right there. I don't even remember the math that I was just doing. Oh, the two sanders. Cool. Where's my, here we go. This is about the time when I'm getting a little bit aware and maybe a little bit anxious of how much I have to do still. This has all been a lot of fun, gang, but I have to do a lot of work to get all these panels done, and I just don't know how long it's going to take. But you got to start somewhere, I suppose. So let me get you tight in as I'm making the mixture of Rubio monocoat so you can see how I do that. Evening tea. What's up, the Devil's Reject? It's been a little while. Good to see you. 38 seconds. Okay, hey, what's up, GR Chai app? That's great. See you in the chat. Devil's Reject. It's been a little while. How we doing? Is this close enough? Can we see that? That's pretty close, right? Yeah, that's good. Okay. Here we go. Rubio monocoat. Really easy to mix up. Bang. Again, I've never used this color. This is blue, which is really interesting. I imagine you got to shake it up to get the blue activated. So the pigment's not all on the bottom. I don't know. The part B, the accelerator, this just helps it cure quicker. That is the same no matter what color you use. Let's get some gloves on. Let's get some gloves on. There's one thing that I want to do before we actually apply it to the surface. So you have to buff it, right? We'll get there in a second. All right, the move here, this is a scrap piece of wood that I'm sitting on, so if I drip on it, whatever. You've got your part A that I'm opening, and look at that, it's blue. Crazy. We need spoons. Metric spoons by HEB. Henry E. Butt, who is the founder of HEB, if you are in the chat, or any of your heirs are in the chat, we will gladly take an HEB sponsorship. Look, we're repping your metric spoons. The highest quality metric spoons in the game. Anyway, you need 3 spoons. One of them for the blue finish, one of them for the accelerator, and one of them to mix it. You can't, you know, mix them up or else you got issues. So this is going to be our blue spoon. This is a really pretty blue. I hope I actually have some extra when this is all said and done, because I'd love to do something with it. 3 to 1. I'm going to do 15 spoons of the blue, and that means 5 of the other. So 1, 2, it's a little thicker than the normal one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cool. I know that if the chat was an audible thing, I guarantee you there'd be people who are like 8, 6, 27, 38, 10, trying to mess me up. I'm unflappable. Although I was almost flapped because I was smelling the strong scent of bat guano in that moment we were talking about earlier. But I was not flapped. The bat, he was flapping all right. Okay, 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice I used a different spoon because I'm a professional. All right, and this spoon goes right back in there. Now we have the mixing spoon. Mix it up. There's no real rhyme or reason for how long. Yeah, I know, the blue color, right? Yeah, Walker Payne, good to have you here. This is indeed Rubio Monocoat. It's gotta be Rubio Monocoat. What else we got? What else do we got? Whatever happened? To the volume, I'll probably use measuring cups. I totally forgot about how I said I was gonna do that. I think it's for the love of the HEB spoon sponsorship. If you're not from Texas, HEB is the grocery store of Texas, and I'd go to battle for it being the greatest grocery store on the planet. And I would rather chip away 1% at an HEB sponsorship by using their spoons than save any amount of time on this finishing process using measuring cups. That's why I've chosen the spoons. It wasn't because I just blanked and just started using spoons. That'd be crazy. Yeah, I'm also excited about this blue. It's not going to be like an electric blue, like a royal electric blue. Let me go ahead and make sure we're not all expecting that. This is going to be more of like a soft, deep ocean blue. That's what I think. We'll see. Can you see it pretty well? Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, this is the last thing that I wanted to think about or try. So the way you have to finish Rubio monocoat is with, you buff out all of the excess. Like you try to spread it out. You'll know when that area has drank enough of the finish. It won't take any more and you keep spreading it out. There comes a time when you've hit all the surfaces and now you have to just buff it out to where you're not getting stuck on excess. You're just sliding over it and that's done. When I'm doing a table, I just do that by hand. I wonder though how long this is going to take trying to do that by hand. So I found this buffing tool, but I don't have any pads for it, but I'm wondering if I could, hold on. I know this is about to look chaotic over here. I used to have a buffing tool that I had purchased pads for. I don't know if it's in the shop and I don't know if there are pads for it. This is not that one. I found this one at my parents' garage recently. Let me look really quickly to see if I can find the original buffer that I had and find the pads for it. If I can't, we'll just go by hand or maybe try to, I don't know, like, I guess there's the possibility that we could makeshift, hold on, I feel like it was in here. I feel like there's the possibility that we could like makeshift some pads for that buffer. I'm pretty sure the actual components, the electrical components work for it. I just don't have any pads for that one. Hold on. Oh my gosh, we have the buffer. Bump it up. Okay, we have the buffer. Do we have the pads? That's the question. I haven't seen these in a long time, but I also haven't looked for them. Oh my gosh, we have, are these the pads? Woo! Hey! Okay. How many do I have? I don't think I have a lot. These are the pads, I think. I have 3 pads. I don't know how long one will last. So it looks pretty clean. Where's our trusty dusty leaf blower? Cool. This could be a game changer. Yes, GR. Yes, let's go indeed. This could be huge, gang. This could be huge. I remember these not really fitting on this. Maybe it's just supposed to be really tight. I don't know. That fit just fine. I don't remember, I don't know. I think I might have actually cut the buffing pad so that it didn't fit as tight. Okay, so that's what we're gonna try to buff it with. Maybe at least just to like kind of get the biggest, like just to get a lot of the excess off. I mean, I'm gonna be spreading it super, super thin and trying to really dial in how much I need to do the surface. I will need another extension cord because I've got my dual wielding sanders and now I've got this thing and my floor is so unbelievably cluttered. Okay. Okay. And then we need to not have this on top of the wood pile. Ah! Great. Are we ready to see the blue finish? I'm glad that wasn't on. I didn't check to make sure it wasn't. When you plug in tools sometimes, they're just already on and shit gets wild. Okay, where's my squeegee? Big Squeegee, you in the chat? Squeegee, this one's for you. What do we got? What's the squeegee brand we're using? Anvil. If you are the heir of the Anvil estate, you can't read that. It's backwards, I'm sure. We'll take an Anvil squeegee sponsorship. We take whatever sponsorship the chat wants to throw out here. All right, gang. Here we go. So the way I do it, I think it's mixed up. I was mixing while I was talking, right? The way I do it is I just kind of spoon some out. Can we see it? We can see it. Great. And then quickly and efficiently, we just start to, ooh, that's very pretty but very thick. Wow. That's really pretty. I'm surprised with how thick it is. It doesn't feel like it's, man. So Rubio Monocoat claims that they are very good about not having lap lines, which means like I've got these really sharp lines right here. And I've never known them to, but this blue, seems like you really have to put a lot of blue over things to saturate it. I wonder if it's a temperature thing. This was sitting outside last night, the box was. But, man, interesting. Let me just panic for a second, and then I'll get back to talking to you guys. Well, I could talk while I'm panicking. It feels thicker than normal. I can tell you that much. Like, I'm kind of surprised with how little this is covering. And I'm also seeing lap lines a lot more than I'm used to. And I think I can get rid of those with basically just like more blue. I think. But now I'm a little bit worried about if I bought enough blue. I bought so much blue. Like, I bought about $800 worth of blue. I even went back and bought more blue than I thought I needed. You see what I'm saying, though? The lap lines are looking a little suspicious right now. I don't know if you can see that. Rubio Monocoat says don't work on areas that are bigger than you can completely deal with in 15 minutes. So we have time, but I think typically the darker the finish, the more at risk you are for lap lines. Okay, we're getting to, man, that did not go very far. Like, you see, I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm just like looking at it and I just see where I've streaked. And typically that's something that I haven't even thought about with Rubio Monocoat. And it might just be that once I start buffing, we're cool. I don't know also what the glare looks like. I'll get back to the comments in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna first, before I bring out the buffer, I'm going to first just go with the tried and true towel method. Okay, I think we're gonna be okay. Man, it just feels thick. All right, let's try the buffer. Let's try it, why not? I also just have a feeling that, like, These buffing pads are just not going to go very far. All right, the streaks are gone. That's very good to see. This buffing pad's kind of doing it. Although you can really feel when, I just don't know how many sheets each pad is going to do, and I've got 3 pads. Like, I feel it gripping more already than it was at the beginning. Tell you what, it's a really pretty color. That feels so saturated already. I wonder what I could do. Here's something I could do. If that gets pretty saturated pretty quick, I'm wondering if I could like use this and make the next panel mostly blue with this. We're gonna try that. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try that. What's the glare looking like? There's some bad glare. You can't really see it. I'll get you a better view in just a second to see what the blue really looks like. It's quite pretty. Like, that's a really cool color. I've also never really buffed before, so I don't really know the technique. Okay, that's buffed, but I can definitely tell this would still be tacky, which is, oh, it's not as tacky as I thought. Okay, great. I mean, I have to clear a little bit off with the towel for sure. All right, I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, if I had like a bunch of buffing pads, maybe I could just keep buffing it, but I have 3. And so I'm wondering if maybe the move is if I can keep colors consistent, which I think I can. I'm just gonna see if that buffing pad that's now rather saturated can be kind of the next, I can get most of the next panel blue with just that. Let me try to get you a better view. Oh, my hands are gonna get how we doing here? Looks sick, yeah? JR Trap called it, what did he call? It'll buff out. Yeah, it'll buff out. All right, is that a better view of the blue? Not really. Where do I put you guys to get the best blue shot? That's nice, right? That's pretty nice. Okay. So this first one's gonna be good. That's great. I was really nervous about those lap lines. They looked deep and scary. Lap lines, if I didn't explain it well, I'll try it again here. Lap lines are just the feature that happens when you do an area, like you finish an area, and it's like really crisp where you, like the border between where you have finished and where you have not finished. And then you let it sit for a little bit. It doesn't even have to be that long. It can be like 30 seconds with some finishes. You just let it sit for a second, and then even though you put finish on the new area, it doesn't, you can still see where that interface was. And Rubio Monocoat is very good at not having lap lines. And I've used a lot of different colors with them before, and I've never had the issue of lap lines. But when I was doing this blue, it just, before I started buffing, looked like we might have lap lines. But now that I've buffed it, we do not have lap lines. So they held up their end of the deal once again. This looks great. Looks very cool. And it's perfect because it is very blue, that's for sure, but you can also so clearly see the grain, which is exactly what they were wanting. And I told them, hey, if we use paint, you will not be able to see the grain very clearly. So they're like, okay, we'll splurge for the actual wood stain as opposed to wood paint. Wood paint, you can like kind of make out sometimes that it's wood, but it's a lot more difficult to see that paint is over wood. But this Rubio monocoat here, I can clearly see we have colored nice wood to be blue. Okay, part 2 of this whole operation, I just spit on my table. It's all right, that buffed right out. Part 2 of this whole operation is what we were working on for the first chunk of the old live stream. So we've got this. Do I want to take off the gloves or leave them on? If I take off the gloves, I will have to use at least 60 gloves. How many are in the pack? Chat, 200. There are 200 gloves in the pack. I could. Should I? We're doing it. For the first one, we're going to do it. Yeah, isn't that wood grain pretty? I don't know what you guys can see. Yeah, you can see it. Maybe when I put it up over here in a second, you'll be able to see it even better. We're going to get you a cool view. How are we doing, chat? That was a little chaotic for a second. That was kind of, I don't know, I've never done the blue color before, and it was a little wild for a second. It's definitely different. Okay. We're going to grab it. We're going to put it up in the elementary school art rack holder. Ugh. Okay. I have the piece. Okay, I'm going to try not to get my fingers. Okay. And this one, we would just put all the way at the end. And we need to lean it ever so slightly so that it stays that way. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, it did it. We did it. That's it. We're good. That's the project, right? I wish, but unfortunately, we have to make it through that entire stack. So that is a bummer. But dude, look at how cool that wood grain is. Maybe you can see it now. Maybe the glare's a little less bad. Oh, damn, hold on. The glare's a little less bad. If we put it like right here, maybe look down at it more. Hold on. Just trying to make you guys see what I'm seeing in real life. Because for you guys right now, on camera, it kind of looks... No, that's pretty good. It's very pretty. I can tell you that in person. The color on here is a little different. I'm going to be so blue by the end of the day. The color on here is a little different than what I'm seeing in real life, but it's pretty close. And in real life, I can clearly see the grain. But what's really cool about the Rubio monocoat is that, like, you saw when I put this on, right? And I don't want to touch it too much because you could do a little bit of something, but like I'm getting little flecks of dust, which I definitely want to do, and I'm not leaving fingerprints or streaks or anything like that. So that's really cool. What I'm going to try now, which is going to be a real litmus test of how long all of this is going to take for the 30 panels is, let me get another sheet. Oh man, I've really moved this thing to an unfavorable location, haven't I? Was this thing right here when I moved it? Or I forget the sequence of events. If I moved the rack before I got the first, trying to pick which side I want. This side's better. Okay, this side's better. I'm looking. I don't think I need to sand this one. I could do just a little around the edges. Oh yeah, and if you are wondering, hey, should you be kicking up more sawdust while you have drying finish in your shop? The answer is no, typically not, but it's okay. It's not a whole lot of dust, it's getting captured, and it's going that way. Okay, here's the real question here, guys. We're gonna get the buffer. Can you see it? Ow, I just hit it with my leg. Yeah, look at how pretty that white oak is. Isn't that nice? We're gonna get the buffer, which I know was already blue to begin with, but now it's extra blue. And we're gonna see how far this, yeah, I could do a plastic barrier. I'm just gonna, right now, while I do a few more for you guys, I'll just be really, sparing with my sanding, and I don't want to put the fan on because then I don't know if you could hear me. But what I'll probably do to get, I'm not going to get all 30 done in front of you guys, let's be honest. I'll just get a fan and put it right behind where I am and blow it out. And I'm just like touching the edges so that kind of the little bit of like sharp frayed edges that I made when I cut these pieces just won't be quite as sharp and frayed. Let's see how far the buffer with some excess blue gets me. I have to make sure that it looks like the other one, but let's see. Okay. The answer is it's not going to get us all the way. For sure. However, I think it could be the correct move to basically like use this buffer and almost like squeegee out, like dry off the buffing pad by putting it into the next piece of wood. That way I think the buffing pads are gonna last longer. And then the other thing is I'm hoping that by doing this, we conserve the blue Rubio monocoat just because I don't know if it's gonna be close. I bought a lot of it, I can tell you that much. I just don't have a good feeling yet for if we're gonna be cutting it close. And until I do more of these sheets and see how much we're using, I'm gonna play it really conservatively. And so if I do this, it just kind of like starts the saturation process. And it won't drink up as much of the fresh stuff, I mean, we're getting there. It's obviously not all the way blue, but we're definitely getting there. Let's just do one full pass. And then I don't know how to apply the fresh stuff thinner. I don't have a good answer for that. But yeah, I think that dries out the pad a little bit. Indonesia, what's going on? Let's see, what do we got? David? Alex? We're gonna go with David. How's it going? Great to have you in the chat. Welcome from Indonesia. We're down here in Texas, in the United States. I'm gonna get new gloves on because I think I have enough to do new gloves every single time. And then we're gonna see if we can apply the new finish a little thinner and not use up quite as much. I felt like we used up a lot for one, for one panel. I could be like way, just gonna really get wide here. Maybe that'll help. You kind of need like, yeah, like even these little streaks, they feel scary at the beginning. I trust that after the first one, I'm not gonna have the lap lines, but I don't know, man. It looks scary at first. Like I can clearly see where I've dribbled. And the solution for that is just to make sure that you get 100% saturation everywhere. But God, it's feeling like it's drinking a lot of the Rubio monocoat. Like more than I typically do pure, which is just no color in it. And this feels like it's like this color is thicker, it feels like. Oh, yep, got it on my leg. I'm gonna be blue. I wonder if I just get some on there. Just like enough to kind of saturate a good bit, and then I use the buffer to spread it around. Maybe that's it. I think that could be it. Chat, what do we think? Because if we run out, we're kind of cooked. I would need to know very quickly that we're going to run out. I would need to know and put in an order today if we're going to run out. That's what it comes down to. Okay, let me try that. I'm going to scoop up any excess that I don't feel like maybe we need. No, we don't have any excess. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it with the buffer. I think that could be the move. Maybe just like do a more, yeah. I think the move is gonna be do more like a superficial squeegee. Just to kind of, get a good amount of the material into a lot of the board. But then I think you use the buffer to spread it around and thin it out and remove all the lap lines. There's a few spots where I see that like, we aren't quite getting all the way, oh, I just stepped on a bubble wrap, it's all right. Where we're not quite getting all the way into the grain, and I kind of have to like dig in at it. Like right here, I just see some of the white oak like pores, the light colored white oak pores that just aren't getting filled up with the blue yet. But I think I can kind of work it in there with like the corner of the buffing pad. Kind of what I'm trying to do. All right, the lap lines are going to be okay, that's good. But we really want to make sure all these pores are filled up. Just kind of taking a second to get it in there. Right here, there we go. Get in there. There we go. Okay. Let me see. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? Nah, you probably can't. Like it's pretty small, and the resolution on these selfie cams isn't fantastic. It's a really pretty color blue, I will tell you that much. Anyone have any idea how long one of these panels has taken? Just trying to do some mental math of how long 30 of them will take. Okay, that's pretty well buffed. And then I also am a little worried I might not have enough of these rags. So the buffer seems like it's pretty good. Like it gets me, I don't know, 80% of the way buffed. It's just that the pad is so saturated already just with 2 panels that there's no way it's going to be able to. So we definitely, but like it's nice to not have to like typically when I do this step, I'm getting really jammed up with the towel, and it takes a lot of towels and a lot of like scrubbing and buffing to get it to the point that I'm at now. But the point that I'm at now, I'm already like slipping and sliding over it, which means I'm very close to having it fully buffed out. Yeah, I don't know of any other faster way to do this. Like, maybe you could spray. You can't spray Rubio Monocoat that I know of. Pretty sure it's a like wipe on application. Maybe they do spray on, I don't know, I've never tried it. But if you do spray, then you have to be like so set up to do spraying, and I'm just not. So I think this is my destiny here, is just to grind it out. I'll do a few more of these. Then what we could do, assuming that I don't lose sound today. I lost sound yesterday, it was super weird. But assuming I don't lose sound today, I might take a break of the blue journey here and do one other thing that has to get done today. I have to do a glue up today. And so that could be cool to just kind of keep going with the live on that. I'm gonna get so blue by the end of this. I have splatters on my leg right now, and we've done 2 panels. I'm gonna be extraordinarily blue by the end of today. Okay, that's looking really good. Oh shit, I've got to do the whole, man, you kind of get out of breath by buffing that hard. I've got to do the whole divider thing. So we're gonna see if that works now. How are we doing, chat? Oli Gummity, I don't know what that means. About 10 minutes since you started pre-buffing this one. So 10 minutes, that's not terrible. Let's call it 15 per times 30, 450 minutes divided by 60, 8 hours. Okay, that's what it is. I have today and tomorrow, we're all right. So here's what we're gonna do now. I need the drill and I need some screws. That one's looking great in place. What we're going to do is, I think we can pack it pretty tight in here. Oh, I think we can pack it pretty tight. Okay. And then we're just going to put this divider in place. And we are going to see if it holds the next one. Okay, look out, look out, look out. Okay. Okay, we have a divider. It is not touching this one. So now let's see what happens when we put, that's not much that it's going to be resting on, but I think it'll be okay because it's got a good surface on the ground. Let's try it. Can you, I don't know if you can see anything. Trying not to touch the actual surface that the finish is on. Cool. I can lift it with my shoe underneath it. Okay. How? Ooh. Yeah, it's not perfect. I mean, it's working, which is very good. It's working. It's just not, as we could have guessed, I think I might just need a longer 2x4 in there. That's all that it would take. It's just not really sitting super nicely. That's okay though. Cool, I'm relatively caught up. Yeah, do we want to do, what do we think, chat? I need to eat lunch at some point. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. Do we want to do another one of these, or would you rather see a glue up? Or do we want to call it? I'll let the chat kind of discuss that for just a moment. And in the meantime, I will put another panel up there. I'm gonna also probably be getting blue on my hands and face. That's gonna suck. Yeah, you're going to fit all the panels in that one stand. I don't know. Theoretically, the answer is yes, but I don't know. I don't know. They look really good. They look super, super cool. Like, that's a really beautiful finish. I like the staining, but up to you, brother. Okay, what if we did this glue up really quickly? Because I'm a little bit hungry here. It's a super easy glue up. I'm not too worried that this is going to take too long, but I don't know, it could be interesting to see. I'm going to go grab the, oh my God, they're huge right now. I'm going to go grab the panels for this glue up. There's 16 feet. I don't even know how we're going to get that in here. It's on the other side. Give me just a moment. They're right here. Let's open this guy. Okay. We need 3 of them. Here's 2 of them. Okay. A little more room. Where's that gonna go? Okay. It's kind of working. Okay. Great. I'm just gonna pick it up, take it over there. Let's try that. Hey. It's so difficult to not hit anything with a 16-foot long. Ah! Okay, 16 feet. Come on over here. Yeah, we're just gonna do this glue up real fast. I think it'll be interesting. If I can get my fingers out. I don't know how we're gonna cut those yet. Oh gosh, that's under there. Okay. All right. How we doing, chat? Okay. Ooh, that's a little bent. What I'm contemplating whether or not I'll have to do, organize your day for the best. Yeah. I'm just gonna do this glue up really quickly. I think that would make me feel better because this glue up does kind of have to get done today. The panels, I just need to make a substantial dent in it. That's all I need to do, but I suppose tomorrow I can also be a hero. Because what did we decide? It was 15 minutes per? 15 times 30. Oh, it's more than that because some of them are double-sided. Oh boy, we got some work to do. Yeah, we need to get some more panels done today. I don't know how many more, but we probably need to get like, I don't know, maybe even like 15 of the panels done today. I think it's doable. But let's get this glue up done first because it unequivocally has to get done today. Yup. All right. This, unfortunately, is, so I need to cut these because they're 16 feet long right now. And I don't know the simplest way to cut them to kick up the least amount of dust, because I did not think that through. This would be a significant amount of dust and debris if I were to do that the normal way. All right, there's the 16 footers. I've got, so the bar top doesn't need to be obviously this long, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these longer than the bar top needs to be, so that when I glue them together, I will then, the glue up is related to the blue panels. It's all for the same company. They have a trade show coming up where they've made this really cool booth out of like metal beams and things like that, and they want to decorate it. Decorate's not quite the right word, but they want to put all these panels around it to make walls, because right now all they have is the metal scaffolding around it. So that's what all the panels are for. And then this is also part of the booth. They're doing like a little coffee bar sort of thing, which is cool. But just like another little feature of their booth, but they need this bar top. It's not going to be blue, but yeah, there you go. So what I'm trying to figure out how to do, I want to cut these. I believe where have I put that piece of wood? The bar top needs to be like 112 inches. I'm pretty confident. I'm not 100% sure right now, but I'm pretty confident that the bar top only needs to be like 112 inches, meaning that I could cut it to be something along the lines of, where is that? I could cut it to be something along the lines of like 118 inches and have really bad cuts, and then shape it and really make it clean after I glue them together. But I have a little piece of wood somewhere around it. There it is. here we are. This is my piece of wood that tells me how big I need to make this. Bang, right there, 112, you can't read it, 112 and a little bit. So I'm going to make this thing somewhere around like 115 inches is where I want to cut these guys off. 115 inches, they're going to be jagged, the cuts are going to be bad, I'll glue them together, and then tomorrow I'll cut them to be really nice and trimmed and pretty and all that sort of stuff. But how do I want to do this? Because if I tried to cut that right now, I suppose I could just hold one of the sides. It would get a little weird, but things always get a little weird here. Where is mine? And I want to do this relatively quickly because I do have Rubio monocoat that's just kind of sitting right now. And that's not fantastic. I'm going to pick the sides that I like the best. I do like this side. I only need 3 of these to make the bar top. The other one, I accidentally bought too much wood actually. Yeah, so we're going to use this as this is one of the sides. This is one of the tops. I'm going to leave out this one for the top. This one, like, I don't think they gave me a red oak beam plank, but that looks a lot more red than these 3, which look very white oak-esque. So I think I'm going to leave this one off the top and make that the aprons or the little side kind of runners. And then I'm going to use these 3 as the main guys here. So there's the actual mark that I need to do. So I'm going to, 16 feet. I think as long as I have 5 feet over there, I'm cool. I'm just going to make it like 118, whatever. 118's fine. Can someone real fast do, well, no, I don't have, I think it's 112. I'm pretty sure it's 112. That's one thick piece of paper. I don't quite, oh, these guys? Is that what you mean? I might be missing the joke. What type of wood is it? This is white oak. There's red oak, there's white oak, there's live oak, there's, what other oaks are there? There are other oaks. 112, yeah, I'm gonna do 112. No, I'm gonna make it 120. I'm gonna make it 120 so I can sleep better at night. Which side do I like better? Here, that's pretty. That's also really pretty. That's more interesting. I'm gonna go with the more interesting. When they don't really tell me what they are going for, I always choose the most interesting grain. Sometimes people want very simple, very straight grain. They're getting interesting grain. It's very pretty, I can tell you that. This one's a little wonky, isn't it? That doesn't look as much. Let's do, this side looks more interesting here. Let's flip it over and see. What's going on this side? Oh, yeah, we definitely want that side down. And then here, what's going on the other side here? Yeah, I stand by the fact that this is the best side, and I think we want to take it from this side. It's pretty arced over there, but I think I can go less arced that way. Not really. And there's 120. I'm just going to kind of make some big marks. I've now made 3 marks on this one. So that's 120. There's 120. And there's 120. All right. So the way I'm going to do this is very unorthodox, because I don't want to use my miter saw, which is really your notes. Yeah, my note. Oh, my notes. Yes, nice piece of paper. I draw everything on a piece of wood because that's my most. I guess I had the biggest surplus of that commodity if we were playing Catan or whatever. I'm just gonna cut it with this. I would typically do this with a miter saw, obviously, but my miter saw is way back there, and I know that if I do the miter saw, it's gonna kick up a lot of fine dust. And because I'm doing finishing and woodworking on the same day, going back and forth, this guy right here, I've always found, it kind of makes more like little chunky things. And that's not as scary for the finish behind me. That worked just fine. Okay, so that's where it needs to be so that half doesn't fall over. Okay. This is so unhinged right now. About 10 feet. Let's turn this guy around. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, how the hell am I gonna turn a 16-foot plank around? Am I gonna fit? Oh, hold on. I'm looking, the grain might be a little cooler on that side. Here's the thing though. The other side is please. The other side is a lot straighter. Like it doesn't have as much of a warp to it. And I'm not going to be using dominoes in this glue up. And if you know woodworking, dominoes are these little, they look like dominoes kind of, and you put them into the side of planks so that when you glue them together, they are lined up, whoa, they are lined up height-wise. I do that for big, scary, intimidating glue-ups where I really need all of the boards to be perfectly vertically aligned. And if I'm doing like 4, 5, 6, 7 planks that are all super thick, etc. But with this one, I can bend these in real time as I'm gluing it together. So I could pretty confidently make sure that they're vertically aligned just with my hands and pressure and things like that. So that's what I'm gonna do there. Awesome. Now, I'm trying to think about this. I have to do the aprons, which are just the little vertical pieces all around this, but I'm trying to think, I don't think it's the correct move for me to tackle putting the aprons on while I'm doing this main glue up. I think I'm probably just going to do the aprons later, tomorrow, or maybe later today. All right, here's what's now the situation. How many days to make it? Well, it's a great question. There's kind of a soft, hard deadline by early next week. And to do that, I have to get finishes on this. If I don't want to work over the weekend, I have to get finishes on them by Friday, tomorrow. I have the ability to work over the weekend, this weekend, if I needed to. I just don't want to. That's what it comes down to. Okay, the last one here, I could definitely use, okay, I'm gonna cut this last one. I don't need to right now for the step right now, but he's just so much more difficult to deal with when he's 16 feet. So I'm gonna also cut him to be 120. That's too long for what I actually need him to be, but he'll just be easier to deal with and manage if he's also 10 feet. Okay, that's fine. Oh my. Yep. Yep. Oh, a blade. Okay, that's cool. Where can I do a 10-foot glue up? The shop is a wreck right now. That's fine. I think I could do it right over here. We'll take you guys over here with us, don't worry. Yeah, look at that. All right, for the next crossbars on the dividers, we gotta kind of we gotta make them a little bigger. Don't dry up on me, Rubio Monocoat. I think the pot life is 6 hours on Rubio Monocoat, if I remember correctly, from like the first time I ever used it. And for those that don't know what pot life is, it's basically how long something can sit inside of a cup, mixed up, the chemical reactions going before you need to put it onto or into or no more mice. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys were here yesterday, but I turned a corner yesterday and ran into a family of 4 mice in the shop, just hanging out. I'd been talking like I talk in these lives for like 15 minutes, making noise, moving things around, just turned a corner, and there they were, like 8 feet away from where I was standing, and they were just hanging out, just being mice. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, pot life of Rubio Monocoat, I think, is 6 hours. So as long as I just kind of get back to this pretty quickly, I should be all right. I'm doing this glue up and then getting back to the Rubio Monocoat. I think I have 10 feet over here. It's a short 10 feet if it is. We'll see. I'll bring you guys over here in a second. Oh, dude, my leg is going to be so blue by the end of today. All right, let's bring you over. Why not? Let's get a couple more clamps. As far as how many clamps to use for a glue up, I don't have an answer. I don't know, depending on how much you're trying to squeeze, one every like foot is probably pretty good. They're gonna eat the electrical cords. They definitely might. Woodworking Fan Outer Woods Jr. I am really curious who you are, Woodworking Fan Outer Woods Jr. Yeah, I need to eat. Finette, after I do this glue up, I do think I'm gonna eat. Because it is lunchtime, and I've been known to forget to eat and then get faint, or I'm not as effective as I could be. So after I do this, we'll get going on food. What do we think? 10 feet? All right. Let's put this guy down and see if I've given myself. I just hit the panel. I think it was the side of it. Yeah, we're cool. It's just the side. We're cool. We're cool. This looked really good. All right, that was 10 feet. That's cool. I want to alternate them so that I can have pressure going both ways, because this isn't a super thick glue up and I'm not using dominoes. And so, you know, there is the chance that if you don't alternate them, what could end up happening is it like kind of bows up or down depending on just how the clamps grab them. So I've got those on bottom. Why not? I'll put about that many on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already got one. I need 3 more. I thought there's one right there. One clamp right here. Ah. Cool, cool, cool. Here's 2. And then here's 3. I have plenty of clamps. I'm just trying to use ones that are on the floor. Okay, here's all of them. I haven't done a glue up in a little while. I don't know what my glue situation is looking like. Yeah, the woodworking plaque in the background, you bet. That's actually going to be the next YouTube video that we post. I'm working on it as we speak. Not as we speak, obviously I'm right here. But that is the video that I'm editing right now, and it's a self-made YouTube plaque. They did not give that to me because I've hit some milestone. I just made that. Finette, thank you. The back of the second panel touching the first one, it does look like that. They're very close, but they're actually not quite touching. I wonder, something I could do to make it to where they don't like pinch in, because right now that divider is just not really coming out far enough. I could put a little piece of wood down here as well, going up. That's all right. We'll just be careful around it. So I'm gonna really quick grab some glue. I hope that my glue roller has some in it right now. Where the hell? There it is. Doesn't have a lot in it. I think that'll be enough. Famous last words. Okay. The glue rollers that I use this one from Rockler. I'm surprised I actually haven't found a better one. The problem is, like, they just get really used up to where like the glue gets in the silicone roller. And yeah, they just chew up really quickly. And you can't just buy a head replacement. At least last time I checked, you have to like buy the whole new thing. And it comes in like this set with a whole bunch of other rollers and nozzles that I don't need replacing. So it's like, I don't know, does anyone out there who does woodworking have a good recommendation for good wood glue rollers that you can replace, or that are a little bit more robust and you don't need to replace them as often? Because again, I use this Rockler one. You can't really see it. I get it on Amazon, and it's like every, I don't know, 2-3 months, when I've used it enough and I can't salvage it anymore, like the threads get gummed up just from how often you have to. There's a lot to it. Anyone got any recommendations? The other thing that we get to do right now that's a little bit fun is we get to decide, let's not hit the panel this time. We get to decide what order and orientation we want for this bar top of the planks. I think it's relatively, there's one decision I see us having to make. Let's put you back in a good spot. I'm gonna tear through this glue up. It's a quick glue up, which is nice. One decision to make here. These two planks, one, two, they are pretty obvious which side needs to go up. This one, if you look, has a bunch of junk on the bottom that I do not want on top. I'd have to deal with that. That obviously has to go down. And then this one over here, it's just got a few more little holes. One right here, one right here. I don't know. It's like 6 to 1, half dozen to the other on that guy. That's fine. This one is the more interesting one. This top has like these really cool black marks on it, which I like. I think it's really interesting. The other side is more classic white oak that doesn't have those black marks. Looking at the middle plank, I see this one does have some kind of like, it's part of the wood. It's not like unnatural. Like there's just this darker splotch right here and this darker splotch right here, and I cannot turn that one over. So we have splotchiness already. The question is, do I want this one to be more tame? There's a mosquito. Why is there a mosquito in February? Oh, get absolutely dunked on. Or do we want this, which is really unique and interesting? Anyone have a preference? What do we think? You see how this side right there has like all these really interesting black splotchy bits right here? And that's super cool. It's interesting. It's different. On the other hand, you could go with more classic white oak, and it just kind of looks like normal white oak grain. What do we think? Clean side? I think I'm with you, Joe Mama. It's a little bit too different from the other two, I think, on the other side. I like it on the clean side. I think in this sort of situation, there is no world where we do the clean side and they have an issue with it. You know what I mean? If we do the clean side, no one's going to be like, what the hell? That's not interesting enough. No one will ever know that we did a clean side. But if we did the weird side, someone could be like, why is there all this stuff going on here? The other board the same. This one, we have to keep this side up. The middle guy has to go up. The other side has a lot of like bark and holes and things like that. So this side has to go up. This side is the same on either. It doesn't really matter. He's pretty simple on both sides. So we're gonna do it like this. There we go. That's how you make decisions. And again, I'm not gonna do dominoes. Dominoes would keep all three boards perfectly like flat and level and vertical with each other. It's already pretty good. Down at the end, I see a little bit of mismatched kind of boards flopping around. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from one end, get it perfect, do the next one, get it perfect, do the next one, get it perfect. And then by the time we get to the end, there's gonna be very, very little variation, like maybe a 16th of an inch here and there. And I can deal with that with my drum sander tomorrow. So we're ready for a glue up here. I'm using, it's called Tight Bond. I forget which number. They have different numbers. There's Tight Bond number 1, number 2, number 3, and there might be number 4 or something. Okay, clean one for you too. Right on. It's the green Tight Bond, whatever number that is. Green Tight Bond. The working time for wood glue is 15 minutes. So as long as we get in and out of here, this glue roller is so bad. It is not rolling at all. I'm just kind of smearing it, which is fine as long as it gets on. I mean, it's unpleasant to have to deal with, but it's still gluing it. So yeah, I'm just making sure that we have complete glue coverage. The bar top's supposed to be 18 inches deep. I have purchased 1x6s, which is a standard cut of dimension, or standard cut of lumber, which has a consistent dimension. So 1x6s aren't actually 1 inch thick. They are instead 3/4 of an inch thick. And then instead of 6 inches wide, they are actually 5.5 inches wide. So if you do the math, it comes out that 3 of these together is 3 times 5.5, which is 16.5, which is not your 18 inches. However, I'm going to put those aprons on it, which are basically just little vertical wood runners that go around the perimeter of it. Typically they go underneath, but I'm just going to put them on the side and then build on 3/4 of an inch on all the sides. And that will get me 18 inches, 16.5 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 is 18. And 18's not even that important of a number to hit. Okay, I've got good coverage there. We're well within the 15-minute mark. Put that down. Cool. Line it up well enough. Not super worried about the ends because I've made them so much longer than they need to be. Now, here's where we start trying to make sure. Let me lower you so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to make sure that every time I go to a new clamp, the wood at that location is more or less level. So right here, this plank is really up. These feel pretty good. So now I'm going to tighten this right here, and that feels great. All three of these are perfectly level at that location. And I don't want to tighten it super, super hard, just tight enough to where it won't slip as I go to the next one. Because if I tighten it too hard, it kind of sets all the vertical position for the rest of the boards. So this middle one's a little tall right here, so I'm just pushing it down. And I can put plenty of weight. Sorry for this unflattering position that I'm in right now. It's the crop top we were talking about earlier. My dad's 70-year-old man crop top that I've stolen in the name of fashion. And I feel just a little bit right there. I'm not really too worried about that. That's fine. I can deal with that tomorrow. And I can tighten that a little bit more. Feeling pretty good about tightening that because I think we're kind of lining things up pretty well here. Let's go on to the next one. Cool. These feel pretty good. Maybe that guy could go down just a touch. That's feeling good. Yeah, he could go down a little more. And sometimes you got to tighten it a fair amount or else it wants to slip back up on you. And it might be an issue further down this way. Okay, these feel really good as is when I'm putting pressure on this outside guy. At this point, I'm kind of putting some pretty good pressure on it. I know that I still need to be able to, yeah, right here's a little wonky. I'll see if I can get that in a second. Right here, we have the biggest disparity height-wise, but it's kind of the easiest to sort things out at the ends. There we go. That's all lined up now. And I can kind of crank that pretty good. I don't see anywhere in this glue up right now that is cause for concern about height differences. I know that I've got a couple little spots, but they're very, very small. And then I can come back. I know over here, in between those, was worse than over there, so I'm going to start on this side and do clamps the other way. And these clamps the other way, the purpose of them is to make sure that I don't have too much pressure and like cupping the glue up either concave or convex, depending on how you look at it. The parallel clamps that I'm using are supposed to prevent that and just put perfect vertical pressure down on it. But I don't trust them to do exactly that. This is kind of our worst spot right here, actually. I wonder if we're even going to be able to... Yikes, that's kind of bad. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. I'm putting all my weight on this, and it's not really going down. It's okay. We don't... That's all right. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm just going to throw this through the drum sander. And in doing so, it's going to flatten it out. And it's going to get thin. But I'm going to put the apron around it so you won't be able to tell that it's thin. And this isn't a bar top that's going in someone's home and will last forever. This is a bar top that is going in a booth at a trade show. I'm not saying that it needs to be any less nice, but if it's a little bit thin, that's okay because it's got a very sturdy base beneath it, and I think they're just using this trade show booth for this season, and that's that. So it's okay that it's a little thin. I can't imagine that's going to get down to like even close to ½ inch thick. It'll probably still be something to the tune of like, 5/8, because it started off as 3/4. We're going to move this up. That way I can really grab these. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking just fine. Cool. And you're only required to clamp it for like 30 minutes, which I don't know, it seems kind of crazy. It says not to put any pressure on it for 24 hours. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, yo, what's going on, Maddie? What the hell is going on? Good to have you in the chat. We just ripped out a glue up. I guess I didn't even linger on it for too long. It's over there. Yeah, what's up, Maddie? Yeah, it's over there somewhere, the glue up. There you go, it's just gonna hang out right over there. The other thing we were working on earlier today, and it's what I'm gonna keep on working on now, unfortunately I might call it pretty soon here, is we were finishing a bunch of these panels with this blue finish. So I know I hope they look blue for you guys. I don't know how clearly the blue is coming through, but we have a lot of panels to go. We've done 2. I've kind of shown you the process for what it takes to make a panel blue. And then there's this whole apparatus that theoretically will house all of my blue panels as I finish them so that they don't, I don't know, the finish doesn't get dirty or ruined or scuffed as I dry them and put them all in there. Then we got that glue up done, which is a bar top. Whoa, it's really difficult to point to because it's reversed, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was a decent glue up. It was as good as it needed to be. I'm not very worried about it. I'll sand that tomorrow. I'll put the apron on it tomorrow. And then today, the rest of my day looks like this. I have this entire stack of panels, and that's not even all of them. That's most of them that I have to turn blue, and then the others are back here. So I'm gonna eat real fast so that I can fuel up, get some water, because I'm sure I'm dehydrated, and then I'm gonna keep turning things blue. And part of that will definitely be me. If you can see my leg here, it's already turning blue. I've already splattered on it. But great to see everybody in the chat. I hope that we're all feeling like the lives are going to be more consistent than they have been recently, because this is kind of the last of the projects, this blue guy here, the last of the projects that has a very, very definitive deadline because their trade show has a date. The rest of everything in here and the future projects are going to be a lot more like, oh, I'm just making it for clients and they want, or like individual homeowners and things like that. And they need it at some point, but they're not worried about it has to be Tuesday. We're having a crazy party on Tuesday. It's just like, yeah, we want our furniture, but don't rush it and sacrifice any quality. So all that to say, after I get these panels out the door and I start making new things next week, I can do more live videos more consistently. The goal has always been to do live videos like scheduled. Like, I don't know if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday around noon. I don't know what it's going to be. That's probably what it's going to be. But yeah, we're gonna do more live videos because they're really fun. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy talking with you guys. Finette, thank you as always. I will try to do my best to keep up the good work. Hopefully you've been keeping up with some woodworking yourself and, I don't know, taking some of the things you learn here to make whatever you enjoy making. But yes, we're definitely going to do more of them. Maddie, yeah, more streams. Great to see you here. Is this the first time in the stream, Maddie? We have oh, Shantae. Shantae, unfortunately, YouTube has hidden your comment, but just know that I have seen it and I appreciate it, big dog. Oh, Maddie, first time in the stream. That's what I'm talking about. Joe Mama, thank you for locking it down as always. Hey, you know, Joe Mama, we're just out there grinding, baby. But last thing, shameless plug, we got merch. I really like the hats. I've already ruined. I got wood glue on mine, but it kind of gives it the character that it probably should have. And also, again, the sweaters. I have one of the Outerwood sweaters now, and I love it. It's way too hot in Texas to wear it at this point, but fantastic sweater. The vibe is exactly what the Outerwood sweater vibe should be. Yeah, anyway, I don't know if we'll do a live tomorrow. Maybe we will, if I'm finishing a lot more of these panels. If we've already seen me doing that, it'll probably be more like a conversational sort of stream. Guys, come with any questions or topics you want me to talk about. I think today our best topic that we talked about was bat guano. I don't know how many people who are still in the chat right now have any idea what I'm talking about with the bat guano. Very quickly, I've been smelling a lot of bat guano around my shop, so I hope that there's a colony of bats that have moved in. No one in the chat seems to be a bat expert, so unfortunately, we'll never know until I see a bat. That's what we got. I have no idea what else to say. Rest assured that I will be in the shop making more panels blue for the next 3 or 4 hours today. Cheers, everybody. Migration season is upon us. The Mexican free-tailed bats, they're moving. Are they coming? Are they going? Don't know. They're doing one of those. Best of luck. Thank you very much, Maddie. You guys have a good one. We will see you next time.